Happened in the 90s.
Double your refreshment. Double your enjoyment. Oh no, single gum double freshens your mouth like double mint gum. Double your refreshment. Double your delightment. Oh no, single gum double freshens your mouth like double fresh, double good. Come on and double mint gum.
There's no single gum like it.
But no, I think it was clear Pepsi or crystal Pepsi, whatever it was. I don't remember liking it. And as a fat kid who used to ingest a lot of soda, it must have not been that great if I wasn't willing to just drink the shit out of it.
Yeah.
You know? But sometimes, you know, soda companies, pop companies, if you're in Ohio or, you know, whatever your nomenclature is, they got to try. They got to swing for the fences every once in a while, or just to let you know that they're still there. Cause it's like Pepsi, Coke, you're going to be drinking those, but every once in a while they got to throw like a hazelnut mist or some weird shit just to let you know they're trying. They're still there. There's a scientist still working in that department.
Man, I applaud you for being able to implement nomenclature. You might be the only friend in the history of people I've ever spoken to use that and implement it in conversation.
You know, thank you. I appreciate that. I think we got a couple. I think Jordan, he might catch you off guard. He might throw a nomenclature in there every once in a while.
He always catches me off guard.
Exactly. You know, he'll run up on behind you and throw a nomenclature in your ear, but I appreciate that, Steve, because, you know, every once in a while I can impress somebody with my impressive verbiage and dialect. So I'm just going to keep using these $5 words until I make a mistake. So
you one of them readers, ain't you? You're a reader.
I done picked up a dictionary, Steve.
What you reading for?
Hey, college boy. Hey, I always loved that one in like old shit. Like the smart, when you were in redneck territory, was, oh, hey, fuck you, college boy, fucking with all your fucking book learning and shit. Hey, college boy. It's like, okay. Thank you, I guess.
Hey, college boy. What's the equation of dividing my foot out your ass, college boy, Mr. Smart Book Man?
You won't be successful? You won't make money in this world? Oh, okay, big fancy college boy. I'm sorry.
Some folk will never eat skunk, but then again, some folk will, like Cletus, the slack-jawed yokel.
That's, you know, the general vibe. You walk into a Walmart over here, as long as you can pull that kind of thing out, you're good. You can blend right in, you know. And I got something weird that I saw, Steve, and my wife, who's mixed, she saw it as well. But we are out here. We're in an area where there are a large population of Mennonite people, which on the surface just look like Amish people, but they're less.
Men in tights?
No.
That was in Los Angeles.
Yeah, exactly. That was West Hollywood, Steve.
Yeah.
But here, I mean, it's Amish people basically, but they use electricity. They're up to snuff on that, but they dress and look like Amish people. And we were out at a place, and we look, Steve, there are black Amish people out here.
Because why not?
I've never seen it. I mean, got to be an adoption thing. It has to be. I don't want to seem like racist in any way, but it caught everyone, like me and my wife, off guard, because I was like, I've seen a man with his fist in his ass on the side of the street in LA. I've seen people bent over pissing in arcs at bus stations. I've seen people with open
smoking crack on the bus.
Exactly, smoking crack on a bus to Disney World, in fact, on the bus. So I've seen some shit, and I got to say that one just is so shocking. I did a double take, but it exists. So just so you know, Steve.
You have to be a particular type of Negro to be Amish. I mean, in this day and age, when there's lotions, when there's right guard, when there's all these things to keep your skin moist, like I can't be like he had to be ashy, is what I'm saying.
Well, it was a young girl, and I gotta say, I think
she wasn't crunchy.
I see because this. Mennonite people, if you're out here listening to our podcast, you're welcome. We love it. It's awesome. But I think I don't think so. But I think what it is, the technology, not a problem. It's all a religious thing. So I think maybe she could get the lotion. She could watch the TV. She could get the right guard if she wanted to. Maybe they don't, but I think they're more, they're driving cars and shit, but they're wearing all the crazy fucking kingpin shit too. It's a mixture.
What is that? Curious George fucking shit. Was that kind of with the man in the yellow hat? They be wearing that type of shit.
No, I mean, the men, it's all very much like you. I mean, you remember Kingpin? Picture everything but the hat. They don't have that. They got the overalls. They got the green and red shit. I'm sure their names are like Jebediah and Hebediah and Ezediah and shit. But
Ezekiel.
Exactly. A lot of that. But hey, they're out here, and that's where I'm here. That's where I'm at, Steve. I went from LA to seeing that. So it's a drastic culture shock here, if you will. It's a bit strange.
I mean, I'm sure you might have saw it in Ohio, or even there's parts of Pennsylvania that are like that.
I mean, Pennsylvania, it's straight up Amish. Like you'll just see the horse and buggy and shit. So I'm used to it, but it's been a while, so I hate to keep quoting Aaron Lewis. It seems like we're doing that a lot, but it has, and they're out here in full effect, and hey, they're adopting some other races. So congratulations to the Mennonites, because they're not giving a fuck. So
the Mennonites don't give a fuck. And I mean, hey, Weird Al made a song about him, living in this Amish paradise.
Hey, if he's willing to get weird with it, and they are too, I mean, I guess we all need to just be welcoming to those Mennonites and those Amish people. So shout out to you guys. Hopefully you're listening. You're probably not, and if you are, you probably have no idea what we're talking about. So settle in.
Yeah, man. I salute you, but I can't get down. I like having Old Spice in regular showers.
Yeah, I dig electricity just in general. I'm a huge fan of that. So
I kind of need my sparks, and I don't feel like having to create my own soap. I like having it already there. There's like, oh yeah, my soap is right there in the bottle. Let's go at it. I don't want to have to churn butter and frankincense and myrrh to just to fucking bathe.
I don't want to like butcher my own meat. I'm good on just buying that straight up. I'm cool with that. And as far as like even getting the milk and stuff, I like my milk, I like my eggs, but I don't like to get it from the animals direct. I like a guy to hand it to me. And quite frankly, I'm willing to just deal with whatever the upcharge is on that, because I don't want my hand be elbow deep in some cow ass to get a steak. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, you can get a good look at a T-bone by sticking your head up a butcher's ass, but then, no, it's got to be your bull.
Wow.
Just doesn't seem right.
Prefer being wrapped up, possibly preserved a little bit, at least.
Maybe dry age, Steve, to get a little bit of that flavor on it. I watch Food Network. I know the classy things rich people are eating. So, let's do that.
They can give me a roundabout time when I should use it. I don't want to have to guess.
Yeah.
How stale is this animal?
I mean, I guess it's better if you get it right from the source, but like I said, there's a lot of cleanup involved in that, and just a lot of unnecessary blood that, a pussy like me, I'd probably just start fainting. So
yeah, I'd probably go vegan.
Oh my Lord. I'd turn into a Southern gentleman real quick.
Lord, you ain't gonna believe what they doing to these animals. Hey, Lord have mercy. They butchering the lambs.
Those lambs ain't silence. I'm telling you, he was wrong. They ain't loud, and it is terrifying.
Not the lambs. Well, hey, boys and girls, this is Sadistic Steve and Matt the Masochist with orgasms and ultimatums. Make me come or else.
Damn, Steve, you came out wet.
Yeah, because that's the orgasm and the ultimatum. If you don't make me come or else. That's yeah.
You are Sadistic Steve, so I mean, just give me a nice little tap on the ass, and I'm masochistic Matt. I'm out here, so
But no, seriously, this is Steve G and Matt G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about things that happened in the 90s. So get out your Crystal Pepsis and your cardigan sweaters and give me fuel and I'll burn. Fuel is pumping engines and I'll burn you. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that much.
And that's the only word you know to that song, Steve. Those are the only words you need to know. But
this is orgasmic era James Hetfield, when most of the lyrics are a lot of I
saw Metallica last night, and fucking James Hetfield had some weird stains on his pants. It was weird, guys.
Yeah. They had to stop the show at least 3 times.
I like a nice when we were listening to it in the car, it's like very cock rock. You got to do a lot of like thrusting to that album.
And do it with attitude, with your chin out.
Yeah, it is
annihilation to me.
They had 2 albums called Load and Reload. So I mean, I think there's some subliminal messaging in there, Steve. There's another $5 word for you too. Subliminal nomenclature. I mean, these are things that I feel. Am I an English professor at this point?
Subliminal, yeah. I throw that in there every now and then. But nomenclature, though, that was one of one.
Sometimes a blind squirrel finds a nut, and I hate to apply that to myself and diminish what you said to me. I'm just trying to sound smart. I'm just gonna stop now. It's getting confusing.
Alex Trebek, the spirit of him is with you.
I hope so.
He is somewhere in that romper room ass room. Fucking icy.
Get me the fuck out of here. That's the door, Steve. That weird John Malkovich door. He actually went into that, and he's in my head now. So that's why I'm sounding so smart. And just to say, give Alex a little flowers real quick. I'm living with my parents temporarily while we wait for my shit to get here. And watching some new Jeopardy sans Alex Trebek, because obviously rest in peace to the king. Yeah. Oh man, even with Ken Jennings, who is a Jeopardy legend,
he's a goat. Yeah,
it's just not the same.
It don't hit the same.
It's just not. I mean, it's still fun to play, like just sit there and be like, what is whatever, and you try to do that. But just in terms of a host, it's like I need Alex back. We got to get maybe like some sort of a like Tupac hologram going. I feel like even that, in absentia would be something great. And that's
y'all can't even keep calling it Jeopardy, bro.
You gotta say Alex, just call it Alex Trebek's Jeopardy and just featuring a host. You know what I'm saying?
You got to put some respect on his gangster, man. He's got to be a part of the mix. I love Drew Carey, but the Price is Right, the same deal. I actually like Drew Carey more than Bob Barker. Bob Barker, by all accounts, is a piece of shit.
The price is wrong, bitch.
But
I didn't even know that, but hey, okay. Do you have any evidence of that? Like, can I get a little background on that?
One of the Price is Right girls did a tell-all, and a lot of times, most of the time, those Price is Right girls were like his harem. And I mean,
Barker's beauties were getting abused, Steve.
Not all. Well, not abused, but he was fucking them. He had relationships. It was kind of like Hugh Hefner in the Bunnies, man. He was like,
he probably got his fucking tips from Hugh. You can't tell me those two guys weren't hanging out, right? They had to have been at some point.
Oh yeah,
there was a crossover somewhere, and Hugh was like, "Listen, Bob, I respect the game, but you can fuck those chicks, right?"
Man, Hefner had a day designated for host. It's like, okay, on this day we're gonna have Bob Barker, Johnny Carson,
Right.
was it Ed Sullivan? Yeah, he
Yeah, I mean,
bring
why
some of his
not?
old, have him bring his Ethels and Hazels.
I mean, I can't honestly, man. I mean, he did have an astounding number of women just roll through there, so it had to happen every once in a while, and it was of that area where there was probably a lot of tapping on the ass, a lot of that kind of thing. Maybe suggestions as to maybe wear a little less at work, those kind of things, Mad Men type shit. But I mean, still, with all that being said, I agree with you. I love Drew Carey, love him, Ohio
One
guy.
of the goats.
To be honest, everything I've heard about Drew Carey seems to tell me that not only is he funny, he's actually a nice guy. But still, Price is Right. You can give him that long, weird microphone and have him try to do all the same shit Bob Barker did, but it just isn't the same, man. I need me a little of that saltiness, a little just bit of that Bob Barkerness that we just don't have anymore.
Now you've had enough, bitch.
Yeah, that's what I was raised off of, man. And then the guy with the colorful ass jackets and vests.
Oh, Roddy. I mean, that
Roddy.
Shout out to a king also who weirdly, and I mean, this is not to diminish his name or anything, but you just didn't hear about it a lot. Died of breast cancer as a man.
Wow.
You just don't hear about it. I mean, it's cancer. It is, I guess, a breast is a breast, but
it's
I always
possible.
found that odd. You don't hear that a lot.
Yeah, I did not know that, man.
It was all the shiny bedazzlings on it. There was some toxic chemical on that, I think, and he just he was sweating a lot, I'm sure, and it just seeped into the pores. So shout out to Roddy. I don't know is Bob Barker dead?
No, he's still with us.
Bob, all that pussy juice, Steve. It keeps you young. Look at Michael Douglas. He's still out there. He got throat cancer from eating too much pussy, and he's out there thriving.
I still don't want to get throat cancer despite smoking. What is the limit? Like, give me a number on how many pussies you need to eat to get throat cancer. It's like, okay, I'll stop at just like 1 or 2 below.
It's like that Tootsie Pop commercial. It's like how many licks before it. A 1, a 2, a 3. 3.
Oh my god. And still can't find the clip.
But I also just love that energy that he got throat cancer and came out publicly and was like, look, guys, I was just out there eating tons of box. And I know that's what caused it.
Yeah, I mean, you educated me and I like you a little bit more now. Wow, that's pretty gangster explanation.
This is his thing. I don't think he ate ass. And I do. And I think whatever the negative effects you get from the P, you get a counterbalance from the A. You get a little bit of, salty and sweet, if you will.
Sugar and spice.
This podcast got weird at the beginning, and I'm enjoying it, but it got real sexual real quick. Thanks, Metallica.
Yeah. Sadistic and masochistic.
That's the tag team, Steve. Vicious and delicious or sadistic and masochistic. Call us.
Make
AEW.
us come or else. But we're talking about all things November 18th in the 90s. A lot of stuff happened, man. Some blockbuster movies. Some blockbuster movies came out.
Continue, Steve. Don't let me stop you. I'm just enjoying the show here.
And we're coming back to Seinfeld, and I know, people, we just did Seinfeld. Well, yeah, you have a handsome mother. Seinfeld is coming back this week because it's considered the greatest episode ever.
Of
the
TV,
contest.
maybe. Of TV.
Of TV. Of all TV. Of I Love Lucy's, the Brady Bunches, the All in the Family, Sanford and Son, Martin, Fresh Prince. This is the greatest episode, 30 minutes. To ever be on the silver screen.
I don't know what the guidelines are for that. I disagree. I disagree, but I can't say that it's not a fucking hitter of an episode.
It was great. And it didn't make me fall over my chair. There's at least 2 that I can name that did that. Rick James, the first time I saw that, the Dave Chappelle shit.
Mm-hmm.
The first couple times, and the first time I saw the Martin when he he thought they lost his he thought they stole his CD player.
Oh yeah, we talked about it before. Fucking when he's doing Nino Brown with the fake dog and shit.
Yes.
Go sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
That shit was so funny, Steve, that in the whole span of the scene that we're talking about, everyone else in the scene is laughing their ass off almost uncontrollably. They're all like about to break. It's that funny. So I'm glad you called that one out. I'll call one more Martin out. And when he finds out Pam and Tommy are dating, it might not be the whole episode, but the moment when he finds out they're dating is one of the greatest moments in TV, bar none. So
No, Pam. No!
Yeah, dude. I'm surprised that's not a more meme, like a meme, like that they tag, one of those like GIF memes type things.
And is this our first time talking about Mr. Cooper?
We've done 40 some episodes. We're almost at a year. I can't believe that it's flown by, which is a credit to you, but I don't know. I want to say we did, but I don't know. This one's a good one too, though. This one's fucking hilarious.
I remember this one because of the physical comedy of the one and only Mark Curry. And I mean, a lot of great movies came out on November 18th in the 90s. And then we're going to talk about 97. Like we're in alignment with the music scene of 97. And,
Nice.
Depending on who you ask, the ones that we're going to talk about are all good. Yeah, man, a lot of things happened November 18th, but we're going to start off 1990. Stephen King's It debuts. And I didn't know this was a TV movie. Apparently it aired on ABC initially.
Yeah.
Did you watch this?
Terrifying because here's the thing. My grandfather, huge Stephen King fan. Big and he had the book. And the book, even as like a very young kid, like a 6-7-year-old kid, it was just terrifying, like the cover was. And then this came out. And I don't remember how I saw this. I didn't watch it on TV. It was like a VHS that was so big. It was actually like one of the first VHSs they released as like 2 VHS tapes in one. It was like a double size VHS or whatever. And this shit is crazy. Tim Curry, that's the guy's name. I always fuck up. Yeah, Tim Curry. I mean,
Legend.
crazy that's the guy playing that clown. So wild.
The same guy that was the bellhop in Home Alone 2.
Yeah, exactly. He was in Clue. I mean, Tim Curry, we all know Tim Curry. He played I think he was the devil in that Legend movie too, if I'm not mistaken, with Tom Cruise. Great movie. But this movie, some would say it's better than the newer one that came out. I enjoyed the new one. I don't really remember too much from this other than some like quintessential scenes where like just as him being scary as this clown, but I like this one more because it uses a lot of like real effects and stuff. Like they had to make this shit happen on camera. And this was good. I mean, it was a made for TV movie, but this was when Stephen King was just in the zone in terms of making movies at this point. He was just making anything he had, they were making it. So
1967, preteen outcasts fight an evil demon who poses as a child-killing clown. 30 years later, they reunite to stop the demon once and for all, and it returns to their hometown.
What do you think? Did you like this? Did you see the new one?
I saw both, and I didn't watch the original until I was an adult, like in my 30s. And I agree, man. I like the original more. Tim Curry, and it also has my guy, man, Jack Tripper.
Jack Tripper. I don't know.
John Ritter.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Damn, dude, I forgot. I think isn't what's his face in this from Night Court too?
Harry Anderson, he's in it. And Tim Reed, T and Tamara's dad.
Oh shit. Okay. See, I mean, but just to get Tim Curry, who honestly is like a great actor, to be that character. I don't know. There was something about the guy. It was more of just like using effects and stuff in the new one, which I don't know. There's multiple movies that we had as kids. Another movie is called The Thing that had Kurt Russell in it back in the day. It had Maid Marian from that crazy drug movie with Jared Leto. But it was like one of those movies with practical effects.
Requiem.
Yeah, Requiem for a Dream. That guy. I always forget that dude's name too. But like these movies where like back in the day they had to pull it off. It being one of those, I'm just saying that like they try to remake them now and they just apply like a lot of computer generated graphics and like they kind of just make it easier to scare you because it's like you're seeing it all. Like back in the day they had to kind of like figure out how to hide it and just make it work. So I loved it, but it scared me so much as a kid. I could only watch it like once or twice, and I didn't see it again until I was like in my 30s. So
yeah, a lot of people say that's the like scariest movie they've seen.
I don't know. I'm not really even like scared by movies. It's just like seeing gross violence now. Like I used to be able to handle all that too. Like we would watch Hostel and movies like that kind of when we were in college got like super popular, like murder porn movies and shit. And I can't really think of this because I used to get scared by anything. Like Jurassic Park when I was a little kid actually freaked me out a little bit. Like when I was a little kid, I was a little pussy, Steve. So, oh, I can actually tell you the movie that scared me the most, The Exorcist, because I saw it when I was 8 and I saw it with just one other kid and he was as scared as I was. So for like a full night after we watched that, we were just scared as fuck that something crazy was about to happen. And so, you know, but that movie's fucked up anyway. I mean, even as an adult, that movie's pretty scary to watch. So
your mother sucks dicks for a living.
Crazy.
It's Magic Summer from Coca-Cola Classic. There's magic in the real thing. You never know wherever you go, you might find magic. Introducing Coca-Cola Classic Magic Cans. You can't tell them apart from real cans, but inside, real cash. Up to $500, trips, or other great prizes. They're a rare find, but worth it, so stock up. Because with Magic Cans, you can win instantly. Can't beat the real thing.
Now, in November 18th, 1992, Seinfeld is airing the episode The Contest. George's mother throws her back out when she falls down after catching George performing a personal act. The gang partakes in a contest of self-denial.
Yeah. I mean, Granny, no. I mean, this is just the nightmare of everybody. And then also in the opening of the episode, Jerry talks about another nightmare I think that anybody could sympathize with, which is the knowledge of your parents having sex. So he talks about that in the opening. And to be honest, it is a scary thought. You don't want to think about it, Steve. You know what happened? No. You're here. It had to happen, but just deny.
Yeah. You like to think they're just really good friends, he said.
Yeah.
Maybe I was adopted.
Maybe I just, immaculate conception, Steve. It can happen. It's in the Bible. So I'm not saying I'm Jesus. I'm just saying my parents didn't fuck. Okay. I can't think about that.
Now the gang is all at their hangout and George comes in and he looks disturbed as usual and tells Jerry, Elaine, and Kramer that his mother caught him. He was alone and he stopped by his parents' house to drop the car off and no one was there. They're supposed to be working. His mother had a Glamour magazine. He started leafing through it. And just like I told the guy who caught me fucking his fiance, one thing led to another.
Georgie, oh my God. I mean, a Glamour magazine though, Steve? I don't really remember those being too racy, even in the 90s. So
yeah.
How desperate was this guy? But I mean, his mom caught him, and not only did she catch him, she fell, Steve, and she threw her back out. Something's wrong. So that's
she was aghast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 92 though, man. You had to use your imagination a little bit. Things just weren't readily available. We didn't have smartphones, Hey, I can't blame George. I might have done JCPenney's, Sears, might have been a fucking East Bay catalog. Oh shit, like she's got some cute feet.
East Bay.
Shit.
Hey man, I get it. The Sears catalog, I definitely the J.C. Penney Christmas catalog. Not only did you get to pick out your toys, but it had that section where it was just like, oh,
exactly.
Is that a nipple? But I gotta just rewind this, Steve. And I think you might have tackled this, but back to the guy who caught you fucking his fiance. Are we going
that's a whole
we're not going to
episode.
cover that? Okay, we'll save that.
That's like a 4-parter. So yeah, man, we'll be here all day for that one.
Okay. All right. Well, that happened,
That's a chapter called Vladimir Putin.
So it couldn't have gone that bad. I mean, I'm just one thing. Did he accept it as like all right, I get it, bro. It ain't on you, it's on her. Was that basically the final resolution?
He handled it like a G. You don't get mad at the guy. You check the one that you're supposed to be trading vows with, and that's what he said.
But I gotta say, Steve, that's a 50-50 because I could see what happened in a good world. What happened to you happened, but I could also see the bizarro version of that where the guy's like, "Let me get my motherfucking gun."
Yeah, well, that's what I thought he was going to do once I woke up. And by the time he came back into the room, the man shook my hand and he said, "Hey, man, I can't be mad at you. I'd probably do the same thing in your situation, whatever." But
listen to this man. This is a pillar of society, sir.
Yeah,
out there,
man. My heart sank. And I am getting like boogers out of my eyes at the same time. Like, I'm still trying to come to all of this has happened. And he's like, "Man, I can't be mad at you. But I was supposed to marry this girl." And I was just like, "Man, I was genuinely sorry." I'm
well, you're a good guy. Of course you were, but I mean, that ain't your fault. You didn't know, right?
She didn't give a fuck. Clearly.
Okay. I get it. I've been there too, Steve. I've made a decision like that. I just didn't have somebody confront me afterwards. I just walked away. So that sucks. But as I think I've told you on this show, I was caught by a girl's father in their bed. And it was a similar situation, but it was much more intense because there was no shaking of hands. There was no I do the same thing. There was just cold silence and me without glasses on thinking I was either going to take a hammer to the head or a fist to the face. And that was tense.
You could have.
I could be dead, but I could be dead from a lot of things. Cancer, some lady's dad, all the drug use. It's a thin line that we're crossing or walking on. And we're still here. We're still standing, Steve. We're still strong.
He could have pulled out the strap and got me in my sleep, man. And that chapter, wild. Yeah, and that chapter will be titled Vladimir Poopin in my newest tell-all. Now, Georgie, what are you doing? My God! God. George's mom, she falls over in shock and she has to go to the hospital. George resolves to never masturbate ever.
I am never doing that again.
What? You mean in your mother's house or all together?
All together.
Give me a break.
Right. And when the others express skepticism, they make a bet over who can go the longest without masturbating. And they didn't want to say the word masturbating in this episode. For one, it would be too racy for NBC at the time. And I think it was a challenge for Larry David and Jerry. And of course, I got to get my George pop.
Hey, do it, Steve. Do it.
My George pop.
I got my starter over here, but I mean, while you're getting it, Steve, I just got to say, if I'm George's friend, and first of all, I hear that he's saying, "Oh, I'm not going to masturbate ever again," I'm going to be like, okay. The bet is, how long do you last? I'm not going to abstain myself. You ain't making it a week, and so. What surprises everybody at the table is even Elaine's down for this bet. And they're like, that doesn't count.
It's easier for a woman not to do it than a man. We have to do it. It's part of our lifestyle.
It's so much easier.
Exactly. I got to say wholeheartedly, I agree. I think I agree. And women, if you're listening, sound off. Tell me I'm wrong. But I just feel like in the world that we live in, I was a fat man And if I was a fat woman, I think I would be getting laid all day, every day if I wanted to be. As a fat man, no. And I could not make this sacrifice because I just got to get the evil out, Steve.
You gotta release the demons. And
so they all shake hands. They're in the diner. They make a blood pact to whoever is the last person standing with a full nut. You get the money. So they all walk away from this feeling good. Everybody's like, I feel clean. I feel it's like that first day when you're like still sort of, peppy about whatever you're doing. They're like, you know what? I'm actually thinking clearer today. I feel great.
Yeah.
These nuts, they're feeling good. And I don't need to fucking release any of this. So I wouldn't do it, but they're in this bed.
I need to do push-ups today. I think I'll hold off. Exactly. I was wondering, is this episode the inspiration to No Nut November? Have you heard of that No Nut November?
I've heard of it. I don't know. I mean, it has to either that or that Josh Hartnett movie, 50 Days and 50 Nights, where he does the personal mission to not masturbate or have sex
for 50 days.
And it is it's an interesting movie to watch, Steve. It is a movie. It's out there. It was in the night. It might even be in the 90s. I'd have to look that up. But he just decides, sex, masturbation, it's taking too much of my time. I'm taking 50 days off. And like in this episode, everyone in his life's like, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. So that's sort of the premise of that movie, and that's what the premise of this is. Who's gonna bust first, Steve? Because that's when you're out of the competition. And I'd be out probably within 5 minutes of leaving the diner.
But money's on the table. And the men put up $100 each, and Elaine puts up $150 because, like you said, the men insist it's easier for a woman to go without masturbating than a man, claiming that it's part of a man's lifestyle. And now cut back to the hospital, and George's mom wants him to see a psychiatrist. Oh, no. We're not at the hospital yet.
You're sick. You need to see somebody, George. I mean, this is a nightmare, Steve. I mean, I was almost caught masturbating many times by my mom, but there was never this level of intensity. And I got to say, this is just awful. I feel terrible for the man.
And it was hilarious when he says to Jerry, he's like, if everyone who did that had to go to see a psychiatrist, and he just chuckles. And Jerry's like, yeah. He's like, well, whatever. He just said, whatever. Oh, Georgie.
And I gotta say, I mean, I don't know if did it happen here where the naughty nurse comes into the room, or is that later?
Yeah, I fast forwarded. We're not at the hospital yet because Kramer has to storm in and tell the guys about the new woman that walks around in her apartment in the neighboring building. And then by the time Elaine comes in, she sees George and Jerry oogling over the neighbor's tits and tells them that her friend Joyce is teaching an aerobics class that she's going to tonight. And they're just like, yeah, sure. The waitress should have taken it back. Like, what?
Yeah, exactly. And they are, I mean, they're right. The woman's right across the street, and they are just straight up. I mean, they might fall out the window. They're looking so hard. So
it's a nudorama.
Yeah, I mean, maybe just try to hide it a little bit, guys, because it's getting a little bit fucking weird. But anyway, I mean, I do the same thing. If I'm looking across the street and a nice pair of tits is walking around back in the day, Steve, not now, back in the day, I'd be doing what they're doing. And Kramer, of all people, we've said we don't like him. He's out there doing what Kramer does, which I guess is being a acceptable pervert.
Or that, yeah. Yeah, titties just weren't readily available out in the open in the 90s, in 92.
Unless you went to a concert or something, and then they were out there for everybody to see. But here, I mean, in New York, you're just looking across the street and there's just a woman walking around tees out. I mean, these guys, they're all looking at them. They might need just a refresher course on what a nice titty looks like. So I get it, but they're grown men. So take it easy.
And just like that, in no time, Kramer comes back into the apartment, slams money on the counter, and says, "I'm out."
seems to be something of that, where it's just a woman, like somebody's going to see this and, it's going to lead to a straight up just sexorama over here in this apartment. So
somebody will get the hint. And
so
then there
I've
were
never
three.
had the luck. I've never lived next to beautiful neighbors anyway. So any neighbor I've ever lived near, I wouldn't want to see this. It'd be a nightmare. So
now, George, now we're at the hospital and he's visiting his mother, who says, you have nothing better to do at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I wish you could get paid for it. You could sell out Madison Square Garden. Everyone from all over the world would come and see you.
I'm not sick, Mom, but I think he is, because I mean, he's sitting there talking about not needing a shrink, not being sexually just like a maniac, and then this hot nurse comes in, and
after his not so hot cousin comes in.
Yeah, what was her name? Shelly?
Yeah, she looks like a Shelly.
Yeah, cousin Shelly. Remember the Jewish cousin, Kyle's Jewish cousin in South Park? That's like,
yeah,
my glasses. It's basically a female version of that.
Basically.
But then a naughty night nurse comes in and is giving the most sexual sponge bath to another patient, like in George's mom's room. And George couldn't be more thrilled or hard at that moment. And he's talking to his mom, and it's like, guy, I mean, act like you've been there before. I mean, you're in your 30s. I would hope that just the sight of a beautiful woman isn't enough to make you just completely bust in your pants, but I don't know.
I go out for a quart of milk. I come home and find my son treating his body like an amusement park.
I mean, that shit is awful. And he's going to have to live with that for the rest of his life and hear that from that woman for the rest of his life. So, George, I mean, nut whenever you can, because your life's misery at this point. You deserve it.
He does. And now Elaine's at the gym signing in, and Joyce tells her that she's going to thank her for inviting her because John F. Kennedy is there and he's going to be in the aerobics class, and she can get Elaine a spot right behind him.
It's actually JFK Jr. because JFK is dead, but his son's going to be there.
He's dead.
And he is a 90s heartthrob too that gone too soon. Rest in peace to another legend. But this man was somebody that all women wanted to bang, not only because of the money, the name, but I mean, this guy, he was a handsome guy. So JFK Jr., he was about to bust in Elaine this night.
John.
Yeah, exactly. John's there. He's in. Elaine, I mean, is visibly flustered by this news. And she's going to get that prime spot right behind JFK and just get to oogle those buns. So
she's hot and ready, like Little Caesars.
Oh, Steve, that's our Little Caesars hot and ready moment of the podcast, brought to you by Little Caesars.
Pizza.
We're not sponsored by them.
Yeah, but we should. I
We're right there. I mean, I feel like our audience and just me in general, my level of class, I'm right there with a Little Caesars hot and ready and some crazy bread. So Little Caesars, hit us up, please.
And now Jerry's in the car making out with his date, Marla, played by Jane Lees, or Miss Daphne if you're nasty. And she stops and tells him to slow it. We're going to slow it down a little.
She's a virgin. I'm just not ready yet. Tally ho. But
and they plan another date for Saturday night. And Saturday night might be the night.
But I mean, Steve, as somebody who I'm sure you've shared your long history of just going out on some dates that, you thought were going to end well, but then they just end with nothing really. And I've been there too, where it's like you were primed. You'd done all the correct manscaping. You got ready. You were ready to go. But at the end of the night, it was just you, a web page, and my right hand. And, we've all been there. So Jerry got them blue balls, and that's going to make winning this bet just a little bit harder. But shout out Daphne for having some, she's got some self-control. I like to see that. So good job.
And now we cut to individual takes of each of the four in their beds at night. Jerry can't sleep. George is staring at the wall. Elaine's tossing and turning while Cosmo Kramer is sound asleep in douchebag dreamland.
Yeah. And then he shows up the next day, just bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Everyone else is just a mess. But he asks Jerry how the bet's going, and Jerry confirms that he is still master of his domain.
And this is the beginning of that phrase, I guess. This is what made it pop in pop culture lexicon.
To this day, you could say this and people are going to know what you're talking about. And Jerry's still alive. He's still standing, Steve. He has not touched himself, or he's not telling everybody. See, that's the other thing about this whole episode that I just would quit. Maybe it's because I don't want to question my friends, but in a situation like this, I would believe nobody. I'd be like, guys, somebody here busted. Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't me, but I know one of you motherfuckers is lying. So apparently not. They haven't reached that level. But Jerry is a little bit peeved at this naked woman because she's out here just fucking walking. I mean, she's still out here naked, Steve. Because again, this is sort of furthering my theory that this woman wants some attention. She wants a reaction, maybe even some communication on this. And Jerry's about to go over there and not ask if he could, maybe help her out in some way. He wants to help her by saying, please close the fucking blinds, because I'm here trying to not touch myself and you are making it very hard, which I don't know how that conversation would go.
No pun intended.
But I feel like that might be, maybe you get the cops called on you. I don't know. But again, he was about to do it. But
she's driving me crazy. I can't sleep. I'm here. I'm climbing the walls. Meanwhile, I'm dating a virgin. I'm in this contest. Something's gonna give.
What's the deal with all that muff hair? It's crazy. But Kramer won't let him, Steve. He's like, please don't do this. It's hard enough. Like, let me just have
titties are not in abundance right now.
You can't. This is something that comes about once in a lifetime. When we were boys looking through our bedroom windows, we would think, why can't there be a woman out there taking her clothes off? And now that wish has come true and you want to throw it away.
And so he's like, Jerry agrees. He's like, you know what? And then Kramer just basically gets himself, remember that I think it's a Alfred Hitchcock movie where fucking Jimmy Stewart's looking out is it called Rear Window, where he's just stuck there like watching people through binoculars. Like, that's all Cosmo's doing at this point. Kramer is just packed. He has a lunch here. He might have a hot plate. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
There might be a nip slip at any moment.
He fits the bill.
He does.
Sure. He probably has buckled shoes.
He's out there staking out that apartment like he's Dog the Bounty Hunter looking for a suspect. He's trying to get that titty, brah.
Man, and we're back at the diner, and George tells Jerry about the hot nurse, and he says even the patient was hot. He's going nuts, but yet he's still master of his domain, king of the county, lord of the manor.
I mean,
yeah.
And Elaine's the same way. She had a workout. She met JFK Jr. actually, and was able to not only, have a quick moment with him there. They waited. She took a ride with him in a taxi cab, even though he was going the opposite way. So she had this amazing night with JFK. There was nothing that happened really, just a nice little romantic moment. And then she's didn't diddle herself though. So she is still master of her house, queen of her domain, but it's getting real hairy. And I'm not talking about downstairs.
Now George, he's got the schedule down pat. He knows that by 6:30, his nurse matinee is bound to happen, so he rushes to the hospital. This is actually 2 days in a row that he's visiting his mother, because there's nothing in the world that Georgie wouldn't do for his mother. And
I love you, Ma.
Yeah, so she asks him to run to the deli. She doesn't like that hospital food; it stinks. And he's like, "Yeah, I can do that, but just sit on it for a minute. Just wait."
But I'm hungry, Georgie.
He fucking throws a box of Tic Tacs at the bitch. He's like, "Bitch, shut up."
Which was improvised, by the way. That wasn't even in the script. Yeah, Jason Alexander, and it's one of the things that just let's keep it.
But
he says no problem.
Time, Steve, because he's been there a couple days now, and he knows this woman shows up at these certain times, and he's like, "I'm not gonna go get you a fucking deli meat sandwich when I'm trying to beat my meat sandwich. This tube steak."
Hang on, Ma.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I gotta get some fucking ammunition for the gun, okay? here's some fucking Tic Tacs, bitch. And that was honestly, I just wrote it down with exclamation points because I was like, the gall of this man. You nutted in front of your mom. She's in the hospital because you did so. And now you're throwing Tic Tac at the woman so you can just continue to just be a horn dog. So
what a puss hound.
Not really, but what a hand hound, Steve.
A hand hound, yeah. But no, George gets tail, just not in this episode. And Elaine's back at the gym, and Joyce says JFK Jr. isn't there. He was at the earlier class, but Elaine did make quite the impression on him, she says. He asked about her and wanted to know if she was single because she's just his type. He's going to stop by her building around 9 o'clock tomorrow evening, and she wants to come down and say hello, yeah. And by the way, she had him drop her off at Jerry's apartment because it was in the area closer to where she actually lives. So that's where she's got to meet up with him.
And I mean, I would be excited if I was Elaine because basically this is like you finding out you're going to go out on a date with basically royalty or one of the richest
American royalty.
This guy had a plane. It wasn't a great one because it's what killed him. But you know, he's a Kennedy, Steve. Like I might think about fucking this guy if he asked me to go out on a date. He's a fucking Kennedy. I mean, hard sell, but I'm just saying, I get it. So, and
Schwarzenegger wanted to marry Kennedy. He cheated on her, but shit, hey, it's the governor. Shit.
Yeah. But she has to be at Jerry's. She has to be there because I mean, this could be a future love connection for the ages. This could change her life. So
it's John.
Yeah. Shout out. I mean, he's in a Time magazine cover where he's saluting his father's grave. And I mean, this is like one of the greatest photos of all time. And not only that, the guy's loaded.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Jerry's home watching Tiny Toons on Nickelodeon while Kramer is back in the window, nude neighbor watching.
Yeah, and Jerry's clearly frazzled, not jerking off for a few days. I mean, I'm getting older and this isn't as an urgent of a thing, but I get it. I've been there. But Jerry, it's like, man, just crack one off. You can make $100 in a night at doing a set. So just, crack one off, man. It ain't worth it. You don't want to bust in 2 seconds with Daphne.
Well, apparently Elaine was dumping off and double clicking on the mouse because when we cut back to the bed scene, once again, Jerry can't sleep, George can't sleep, Kramer's out, and now Elaine's out.
Yeah, but she's out, she caved. And JFK Jr., I'm sure there's a picture in her apartment that is just ruined because of the antics. So she's out, and it's a 2-man game now. George, Jerry, and both of these guys, I mean, just a nice breeze brushing them in the right way might cause the disaster in this contest. We're right there.
That's one of the reasons I like Elaine. Besides being hot and hilarious, she kind of thinks like a guy. So, she's got this encounter with John, and she just wants to get loose, and
gotta get it out.
And sometimes when you're going on a date, you get a little nervous, like, man, let me let these puppies go, so I can, be more relaxed and not as. So it's like, yeah, I respect that, Elaine. Well played.
That's standard guy practice. I mean, you're about to go out on a date. We've all seen something about Mary. You got to crack off. So she does so. She's out. And then that night, Jerry's out with Marla, Daphne, what you call her, and she's ready to go, Steve. That night, it's the third date, and this is what happens on the third date. It's time.
Yeah, but we don't. Elaine still has to tell the guys that she's caved.
Oh, my bad. I thought you said she did that. I'm sorry.
They don't know yet. Yeah, they don't know yet. Yeah, she did cave. She fell asleep. And the next morning, George and Jerry they're having this argument because they're irritable. They haven't let off. So that. It's a part of it.
Sucks! I had a pair just like that with the bootstrap, and now I don't have them anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, you fell asleep one day on the sofa, and I took them off your stinking feet. They look so good to me, I had to have them.
Yeah, well, they're my socks!
They're my socks!
They're pissed at each other. It's like, hold up, man. This is just our nuts screaming at each other. This isn't really us. And, while they're doing that, Elaine comes in, she reaches in her purse, and she lets them know that, hey, I got to get ready for John. So, yeah, click, click. Rub.
flick the bean, I'm out.
And then there were two.
Yeah. And Jerry, he's got a date. So again, like for me, I'd be like, it's kind of unfair that one of the people in this contest has like a date or a girlfriend of some kind. Because I'd be like, man, what if you're fucking, like, this ain't fair? Is this like a no?
What if she wants that date? Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, if this all goes through, which while they're on the date, it's a good situation, Steve. At least right away. It seems a little unfair, but Daphne, all that Englishness is she's ready to. I'm ready to slog Jerry or whatever the term is. Bump uglies.
And because he's a good guy, I guess he has to let him know the situation, or just an idiot. Because Jerry now he explains to her the contest.
Contest? A contest? This is what you do with your friends?
Well, no, it was just a bet. I mean, it actually started with George and his mother. If you
I don't want to hear another word. And to think how close I came to you being the one. I must have been out of my mind.
And Marla's now turned off, and the coochie well has dried, and she storms out. And now Jerry's like, "Fuck it, might as well stare at my neighbor's tits through the window at night."
But I don't understand this, Steve. It wasn't like it was one of those situations where it was like me and my buddy had a dare that I couldn't fuck you. It's just we weren't masturbating, which other than creating a situation where you're probably not going to be satisfied in bed when you do have sex with Jerry. I don't really see, other than thinking the guy's just like a scumbag, I guess.
Yeah, and that's how she made it seem. But I guess that's how they look at things in Britain. Great Britain.
Yeah. Oh, you aren't coming. What is this? Tally ho, what? Tea?
Tallywhacker.
So I didn't really understand it, but she just flies off the handle, leaves, like you said, and leaves Jerry to oogle the tits of his neighbor.
Now Marlo, she runs outside and she runs into Elaine while she's waiting on John and tells her she doesn't want anything to do with her or any of her perverted friends. Like, lady, chill out. You're from a place where y'all eat spotted dick.
I mean, I just don't get the reaction, but clearly she's just done with Jerry. He was putting in some work on the Virgin. Yeah. But now all that work's gone for nothing. It's all for naught. So.
And this makes Elaine go back into Jerry's apartment and ask what the fuck happened.
I told her about the contest.
Oh, boy, she's a wacko.
Old girl just cussed me out. You better check your bitch. Now, and meanwhile, George walks in and asks Elaine what happened to meeting up with John. And she says he didn't show. And George said, yeah, he did. And he just left. He was talking to Marla, and she got into his car, and they took off. It's like, oh, GTD, John.
Well, Daphne, she stole it all, Steve. She got John, and what in the hell? I wouldn't be more crushed if I was Elaine. But then we cut to the end of the episode, and we see everybody, and they're all sleeping like babies because, I mean, at this point, it's just a jack-o'-lack fest. Yeah. Elaine's doing her ones and twos. Jerry and George are back at it. And even Marla, who was a virgin, she busted a nut that night because she hooked up with JFK Jr. and gave him the night of his life. So
he popped her cherry.
Exactly. I mean, I think just the general vibe of this whole episode is bust when you can, Steve.
You see, it was really a satanic ritual, man. This episode was about Jerry Seinfeld feeding Kennedy a virgin. You know what I'm saying? He fed one of the Kennedy because the Kennedys, what they was doing up in Massachusetts, you know what I'm saying? They was eating virgins. You know what I'm saying? That's how they got money. What?
And what you don't, another thing you didn't know was that semen is blood, Steve. So the act of masturbation is actually a satanic act in and of itself because you generating your blood out of your body.
Yeah.
So, yeah, think on it.
Marinate on
it. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, knick-knack, paddywhack, give her dog a bone.
Now, in this episode was the first appearance of George's mom, Estelle Harris.
Just one of the best funny moms ever. This woman was great. Was she in Grandma's Boy? No, that wasn't her.
No, that was the mom Ray's off mom. Of Ray's mom. Yeah, I get them mixed up.
Yeah,
and when Kramer came in the apartment and slammed the money down and said, "I'm out," that was actually his 100th entrance on the show. Little fun fact: tasty tidbits, tasty titties, and in the final episode of this series, George actually reveals that he cheated in the contest, making Jerry the actual winner.
Oh, wow. I did not know that, but I'm not surprised, Steve.
And, Costanza, can't stand you. In real life, there's a porno film called The Bet, inspired by this episode.
Wow. I mean, they crossed all borders, Steve. This is one of the most famous moments in TV. Again, it's been said that this is one of the greatest episodes of TV. And apparently, I'm hoping one of the greatest porn parodies in the history of that. So that's insane. That's hilarious. I wonder what that's like. Like, what is the bet in the porno?
Oh, I'm sure X videos will show you. And this little truce that they had, pinky truce, this was actually a ritual that the actors and actress did before every episode. It was called the Circle of Power, where they would do their truce, they would get into a circle, and when they release, they just make any random noise, which is what they did in this episode.
That's cool. Damn, Steve, really cool. Coming with the fucking Snapple facts on this episode. I love it.
We try to overflow and we try to provide to the people.
You're bursting right now, Steve, with information.
You know what I love about this ham and turkey melt? Before you get to the ham, turkey, cheddar, and Swiss all melting together, you get to the grilled sourdough. And that's the best place to start.
The new ham and turkey melt at Jack in the Box.
On that same day, when Seinfeld is airing the greatest episode ever, apparently, Malcolm X debuted in theaters. And in my opinion, the greatest performance by the one and only Denzel Washington. I saw this in the theaters as a kid, and I fell asleep because the movie is over 3.5 hours long.
I was going to say, this was another double VHS. This was a long one.
Double VHS, man.
I saw a really cool thing about the music in this. It's like heavily like a trumpet music that's in the background of this movie and a lot of Spike Lee movies. That's one dude that's done all that. And I forget his name, but it was on an episode of the Today Show, I believe, which is for
Spike. Yeah, Spike, he likes to continue business with his with
this guy was just a trumpet player in, like, I think an orchestra that was doing music for one of his movies, but Spike Lee heard this specific trumpet player and was like, dude, you are killing this and I need you to do more movies. So he did this, he did Do the Right Thing. And as somebody who used to play trumpet in the Perrysburg High School Perrysburg band, it made me wish that I didn't hate that, wasn't embarrassed of it, and it had continued to do it, because you never know. Maybe Spike Lee heard a Fat Matt Geddick just slamming away on those keys, and I could have gotten chosen for some kind of a job. You never know, Steve. It could have happened. Probably not, but
what are the odds? And let's not fail to mention the star-studded cast: Denzel Washington, Angela Bassett, who's my favorite actress of all time, Delroy Lindo, my step-grandfather uncle, and then Spike Lee, as usual, making a cameo appearance in his flicks. And I've always had a crush on Teresa Randall. She was in this movie. She was in Girl 6. That was her starring vehicle, which was a later Spike Lee movie.
I didn't see that one. I didn't see that.
Sugar Hill. She was in that. She was Wesley Snipes' love interest in Sugar Hill.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Steve, I mean, Spike Lee, was this my favorite Spike Lee movie? No, but this is a good ass fucking movie. But it's very long, which is why I've only seen it maybe 3 times.
And, he was nominated for an Oscar for Best Actor. And this was the year that they finally gave it to Al Pacino, after snubbing him for so many years, man. And,
but didn't he win it for fucking Godfather 3?
He did not. No.
What was it? Son of a Woman?
For Sin of a Woman. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. But still, I mean, damn. That's one of those where it's just like politics. Like he probably should have won it, you know?
Oh yeah, man, because like it's 3 hours and 21 minutes. And I mean, this was at a time when there was like the Afrocentric vibe. Different World had inspired people to go to HBCUs. And I even had these glasses. I actually had some Malcolm X glasses when I was in 4th grade, man. I thought the guy looked cool. My grandmother, bless her soul, Jesus.
Okay.
Bless her whole too. Bless her whole and her soul.
I got a big fucking boner right now.
Her whole hole, all of her whole and her soul.
WHOLE, y'all. WHOLE.
Yeah. And yeah, man, she got me hip to people like this, man. She would give me books and little coloring books with guys like this and MLK, man. And so yeah, that inspired me to wear some glasses. I wish I had pictures. But
and also, I just gotta say, like in terms of movies like this, and when they win Oscars, I feel like playing somebody who existed, especially somebody this important, is way harder and way more valuable than Al Pacino being like, "Ooh, I'm blind." It's like, why did he win that over this? But
exactly, this
shit was like, Denzel is just a bad motherfucker. I mean, he was gonna win one, but this should have been his first. And look, I mean, this is one of the movies where the guy playing the person, like the historical figure, it's almost like there's no difference whatsoever. He did that good of a job, it's fucking, I mean, there he is. Like, I mean, even your finger puppets agreeing right now.
Yeah, the Jim Henson Foundation even agrees with you, Matt. They had to have him sold in stores next to Kermit and Darth Vader. And Spike Lee needed funding. He needed $33 million. And he actually got funding from his celebrity friends, Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Bill Cosby, to name a few. And even Denzel Washington gave up his salary to make this movie happen, man. Because it was necessary. This man's story needed to be told, the beginning and the end.
That's what's up. I didn't know a lot of those facts. I just know it's a good ass movie. And man, that's wild. That's cool as fuck. That, I mean, Spike Lee's a bad motherfucker. I'm not surprised.
Now, that following year in '93, Nirvana played their Unplugged concert in New York for MTV. Nirvana's performance on Unplugged was one of the last televised performances by Kurt Cobain, recorded on November 18, 1993, about 5 months before his death. Nirvana's set list consisted of some of their lesser-known originals and cover songs by the Meat Puppets, Lead Belly, David Bowie, and the Vaselines.
Great album too. Like, this is, you could buy it on CD after the fact, but this is one thing that I always thought was ultra badass that MTV did. I mean, I like music videos and shit, but it started to become, it is what it is now. But when this started, this was the first one, right? This was it.
This was not. No, they were doing this actually in the 80s. With lesser known acts that we would fuck with. But this is when they're getting their peak, when they're starting to have these guys, Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, and it was starting to become a thing here in America. But yeah, man, this is one of the most iconic Kurt Cobain pictures. You see him with the cardigan, and it's on posters, it's on a lot of memes or whatever. But yeah, man, it sold over 5 million copies and won Best Alternative Music Performance at the 38th Grammys in '96. It's also released on DVD.
And I mean, this was why, like, even if you didn't like Nirvana in general, like, everybody loved this shit. And it was interesting to see, like, those bands you talked about, like Alice in Chains, Nirvana, these bands that were rock stars, played electrical guitars, and force them to use like acoustic guitars and shit. It just was interesting to see, especially for like Nirvana and Alice in Chains. Those are the ones that I remember the most.
Yeah. And Stone Temple Pilots, I remember theirs. I want to say Pearl Jam did too.
Yeah, they definitely did. There's some vetter out there. Yeah. He's another cock rocker, Steve. He sounds like he's busting a lot when he's singing. There was a lot of that, a lot of grunting. I miss that. The sound effects, the Disturbs of the world, where they're like,
They're doing it in the rap now. Now, on that same day in 93, WWF boss Vince McMahon is charged with steroid distribution.
Oh my, who knew? What?
Yeah, man.
Dude, I just gotta say one thing though about the McMahons. Linda McMahon, you're a queen. I love me some Linda McMahon. She looks like somebody you would have had been like an English teacher at Perrysburg, you know?
Oh yeah, or a football mom.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Prior to the trial, McMahon, he had already lost a civil lawsuit to your boy, Jesse the Body, for over $800,000 owed in royalties for his color commentary on WWF programming. And the case was set to be heard at the United States District Court for the Eastern District of New York, rather than in McMahon's home state of Connecticut. This was because the prosecutors alleged that the distribution of steroids occurred in Long Island, and the trial was due to start in June 94, but was delayed until the following month. Now, Ted Turner, the owner of WWF's rival WCW, suggested that he would try to get CNN to cover the trial for Turner Broadcasting System.
I like that. I like Ted just being like, you know what?
Petty.
Fuck this guy. Fuck him. But this is when like the veil was being pulled back on wrestling in general, where it was just like, oh, it's, you know, obviously it's not real. We all know it's not real, but we didn't know that back then. We were just like living in this illusion and loving it. And this is when it was like, oh, wait, it's not all the cool shit. You know, this is a business. This guy's giving people steroids, which I don't know how even back then when you saw like Hulk Hogan or anybody, you were like, oh, that's on the natch. That's natch. There ain't nothing. There ain't no shenanigans there. They're just eating a lot of beef, a lot of creatine.
And as you get older, you know better. And he actually had 11 wrestlers, including Hogan, called to testify by the prosecution. No other wrestlers called to the stand attested that McMahon had supplied them with steroids, apart from Nails. I don't know if you remember Nails, but he was an escaped convict, and he immediately had a feud with Big Boss Man. He was apparently one of the guys Big Boss Man put in jail. So when he got released, and he always wrestled in an orange jumpsuit.
I remember that.
Yeah, and he hated Vince McMahon. He claimed that McMahon had pressured him to taking steroids to make him bigger. But McMahon's defense argued that Nails was a hostile witness, as he had been fired from the WWF previously and was disgruntled and looking for revenge. And Nails contradicted himself during the testimony by stating that he had no animosity towards McMahon, but later answered in the affirmative that he hated McMahon.
I mean, Nails, why are you doing that? Why are you gonna fuck your case up? But I mean, I don't know. I want to see my wrestlers jacked to the gills, Steve. And if I'm the judge, I'd be like, the only thing you're guilty of, Mr. McMahon, is giving me a great product. Case dismissed.
Yeah. And they found him not guilty, man. That's what good money can get you.
I mean, look at OJ was like, Vince, I'm in a no-win case here. How'd you get out of this steroids? Wrestlers aren't taking steroids thing. How'd you do that? Oh, okay.
I can buy you hoe, cause bitch, I'm rich. I see broke ass hoes, broke ass hoes, broke ass hoes, hoes.
Oh man, but Vince, he's smiling. He knew. He's like, I ain't gonna lose this case, guys. I got a stack of money in this van back here, and I'm about to just back that Brinks truck up to the judge, to the jury, and everybody's getting paid because I ain't going to jail. Or what? Like, what was going to happen? He was just going to have to pay money?
I mean,
more
there's
money?
fines, or they could probably put his company in jeopardy. So while that happened, he kind of ceded control to his wife. I'm sure that was somebody probably advised him to do that for whatever reason, because he's always on top of his shit. 2 steps.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a lawyer, like, give it to her, because then if you get sued, they can only sue you for what you're worth, not what the company, something like that.
Not fuck up your whole shit. Exactly, man. That's Vince, man. Whatever
I like that. That's very much like the shark guy that we had in Bromfield. Hated cops. Remember that lawyer?
Was it Larry the Shark? I feel like his name was Larry.
I don't know, but the shark, wherever you're at, love you.
Please still be with us.
Yeah,
you deserve to live
probably
for a long
not.
time.
He's blasting rails with students probably, but he hated cops, and I'm sure Vince McMahon's lawyer did too. So shout out.
Now, you know who probably wasn't in attendance for the unplugged Nirvana performance or knew about Vince McMahon's trial?
I don't know, Steve. Who?
Probably Pearl Jam singer Eddie Vedder, because he was being arrested for public drunkenness. Oh,
I got arrested. I mean, I'm surprised it didn't happen prior to this. It's crazy. The guy's a rock star.
He was booked on misdemeanor charges after a bar brawl in which his friend Chicago White Sox pitcher Jack McDowell was knocked unconscious. And he was released on bond, $600 bond. Apparently, one of the waiters said that Vedder had spit in his face. And ironically, that same waiter was just at his concert earlier that evening. And lo and behold, I was just at this guy's concert. And now I'm punching him in the face. And the bouncer is the guy that knocked Jack McDowell on his ass.
Well, I mean, hey, Vedder, I mean, I'm not surprised, but I mean, the guy was a fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a better man. He was not. He was spitting in people's faces. And I get that. You spit in my face, I'm going to black out. So luckily Vedder's still with us. He's still standing, but hopefully he learned from this. He learned from this mistake, Steve.
Those tomatoes in my burgers.
My
burgers. Tots don't serve a purpose on.
Jeremy's broken. I broke his jaw. Spit in his face.
And Jack McDowell was actually a 1993 Cy Young Award winner. But, also a dick that got knocked on his ass. And now in 1994, on November 18th, Hanging with Mr. Cooper is airing the episode My Achy, Breaky Back. In order to go on an important coaching interview after he hurts his back, Mark undergoes some experimental treatment for the pain at the doctor's office where Vanessa works.
Yeah, I mean, this is, if nothing else, a really bad advertisement for chiropractic practices. Doesn't make me want to go.
Mark, it pained me watching him in pain. I feel like he had all of those symptoms of those daytime commercials. Do you or know anyone suffering from back sciatica or mesopotamia?
He's got all the omias. Yeah.
All of those.
But wait, it couldn't come at a worse time, Steve. This man's a coach. He's an athletic guy, and he comes in super excited in this episode because he's got a job interview. He's got a job interview at San Francisco State University, which is very exciting, I guess. I've never heard of the college, but he wants to go there. He wants that job.
Yeah, with Larry Weeks. Vanessa, she comes into the kitchen looking hotter than Jamaican food and needing help with the groceries. So Mark, being the gentleman that he is, offers assistance. And just like that, his bag goes out on him from lifting one of the bags because apparently grocery bags in Oakland. What?
He got it from the boner, Steve. It wasn't the bags. He had a boner from looking at Holly Robinson Pete like that, which if she was my roommate, I'd be like, you need to chill the fuck out immediately. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just had to say that because she comes in and basically looking like a fly girl with the shortest of short shorts. I mean, it was amazing. So.
Well, this was the last program of the TGIF block back in the day. And so I feel like this was their way of getting us into the after hours. Yeah, show you some little Holly Robinson Pete. And the Pete's not there yet. She's still Holly Robinson, so she's still available on the shelf, fellas. Look at those legs. Look at those long socks on those legs and the tennis skirts. Yeah.
Oh, man.
You
James
like
Hetfield.
Dana? You like Dana from Step by Step? Well, wait till you see Vanessa from Hanging with Cooper.
She's up all night. It's TGIF up all night.
Yeah, they were getting us ready for HBO and Scramble Vision.
But she is just a tasty little treat. She does have that same outfit. Now that you're bringing it up, that girl from Step by Step was rocking this. So maybe they were like, look, you have no ass to fill this out, Holly. Please take this and make good use of it. Thank you. And this is Sanj. She hasn't met Rodney Pete yet, which I'll still I will never understand how Rodney Pete landed that. Salute.
He is a quarterback, or he was a quarterback. That just shows you the importance of quarterback in American society. Like I was a quarterback for a football team, the NFL. I mean, shit. Cordell Stewart had like one of my favorite celebrity women ever. Portia is like he was a quarterback in the NFL. That gets you some clout.
It's big dick energy. You walk out there with some big dick energy, and even if you if you're a Cordell Stewart, if you're Rodney Pete, I mean, you're still QB1. You're not going to win an MVP, but you're going to win that MVP, the most valuable pussy award, because that's what they
don't
did.
watch football like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane. And I also have to say that the theme song to Hanging with Mr. Cooper, at least in this iteration, is better than the whole Metallica Reload album in general. It's a great song. And I'm sorry.
Cooper,
I mean, it's so. I mean, whoever was just doing these songs, I know it's not the same guy, but I wish it was, because it's amazing. These songs they were bangers, Steve.
And let's not forget Omar Gooding's little skibbity hoo Cooper man. That's him.
Really?
That's him. Yeah, that's him doing a little bebopping or Etta Fitzgerald or some shit.
Him and Donnie Jeffcoat on Wild and Crazy Kids were just bebopping. That's how he got those chops up. I did not know that was him, but I'm not surprised. Omar Gooding, another legend. Baby, we all loved him in Baby Boy. We loved him in Wild and Crazy Kids. He's I wish I knew the movie he's in, but he's in one of the worst movies I've ever seen too, and he has that designation. It's a crime movie. It's basically like the level of like a state property, but take all the goodness of a state property out of it, and that's the movie. And I wish I knew what it was. But anyway, shout out to Omar Gooding. Sorry to shit on you. But back to the show, and Omar Gooding, he's working in the office of the school, and Mark has decided to come into to work, even though the man can't even walk a step. Steve, this guy is on. I mean, he's about to be crippled. It seems like.
Substitute teachers don't exist in Oakland in '93, apparently.
But he's leaning on desks, leaning on walls, and I've never hurt my back to this extent. But he's in some bad shape, and no one's trying to lift a finger to help this guy. Even Omar Gooding, who's just openly shitting on him for being. I'd be like, "Can you please help me?" Like,
yeah, no,
I'm in pain, motherfucker.
For real. And like while he's struggling to even crawl, he gets a phone call in the office, and it's the people from Larry Week's office, and they say that his interview is slated for 4:00 the next day, and he wants to know if he can postpone. And they're like, "Nah, motherfucker, it'll be at 4:00 tomorrow."
Do you got any sort of handicap ramp in the building? Because I'm gonna need that too. I gotta need some help. But he's adamant. He's going to be there, Steve, which is admirable. I bet we've all been there. You want a job, you're going to make it to that interview no matter what, but it's not looking great.
Yeah. Now, Nicole, she comes in home and tells her mom that she bought her a gift with the money she saved. And we see the gift, and what is it? It is a musty recliner chair from a garage sale. Oh, you like it, Mom? It smells like big cheese.
Hey, wait, are those bed bugs? Oh, wait. Yeah, great. I mean, Raven Simone, sweet little kid. She bought her mom a gift, but I'd be like, honey, we're going to go burn this outside, okay? Don't bring this shit into my house.
This chair has AIDS. And Mark comes in the house using an umbrella as a cane. And Vanessa asks why he won't see a doctor. Mark says he doesn't need to. He's an athlete. It'll all fine-tune itself out eventually. And he thinks that this chair that he sees, it's a 65 classic, apparently, and he thinks this will help the process. He sits on it, and there's an old wine bottle under the cushion, making his back suffer even more.
I mean, he's like some sort of lazy boy aficionado, because he's like, oh, that's a 65 lazy boy. Oh, $9. That's a steal. It's like, what is this, Antiques Roadshow, Mark? What are you, Lazy Boy Roadshow? You just fucking the lazy boy expert they bring in. But he sits on it. He gets sodomized by that wine bottle, and that's not great. But then Vanessa, still looking great, still always as always, just a little night. Not only is she hot, but she has access to physical therapy, Steve. And she says, you know what? Let's take you over to the doc's office. He's got this new chair that might just cure what ails you, Mark.
And she can do it for $3.99.
Which, I mean, Steve, we've talked about dentists. I can tell you with medical bills, if you're going to offer me medical stuff for like dentistry, medicine, even chiropractic shit, I guess, if you say it's free, I'm listening. And even if I don't have a problem, I might come in. But Mark, I don't know. He's got a relationship with Vanessa. And I got to say, if I need like my body worked on, I don't know if I trust her other than one specific part of my body, but it wouldn't be my back. I'd probably blow my back out. But anyway,
or hers. And
but anyway, basically this is not a chair, Steve. This is what you see behind you. It's some sort of sex device. It's the only thing I can think of. It's got some electrodes on it. Yeah, it looks like some sort of crazy demonic barber chair. I don't like it. Once I saw that and the fact that there's like a NASA control console to work it, I'd be like, you know what? I'm just gonna go get some icy hot. I'm gonna just make this work, Vanessa. Thank you.
Does it come with fava beans and a nice box like Chianti?
But it's free. It's free. So Mark agrees. He gets set up. She types some shit into this weird console and he feels that tingling, Steve. And he's like, ooh, I kind of like that.
Ugh.
But then Vanessa, who a beautiful, vivacious, employed, she sets all these dials, but then she just leaves. And while she leaves, apparently either some sort of poltergeist or a button got hit, but then the chair starts going insane and turns into one of those like NASA centrifugal force machines.
Yeah.
And Mark couldn't be in more pain, it seems like.
Yeah, and even she gets attached. She gets hitched on, and they're both going for a spin. And if I was Mark Gurr, I'd be like, "Oh, I don't think we did that scene right. Can we do like 17 takes?" Because she was on there. She was locked in
for dear life, Steve. I mean, it was right there. I mean, and like that's why I said this is more of a sexual device, I think, than actually like a physical therapy device. But nothing really happens. Thankfully, the machine kicks off. Nobody dies, which it seems like that was a real possibility. And, you know, maybe Mark's back's in worse shape. We don't know yet. Only time's going to tell.
And, but his back problems did go away though. And by the time he comes home, he's feeling brand new, like a baptized whore. And he's feeling good, feeling great, making himself a bowl of cereal, but not before he inadvertently throws the cereal at Geneva, his cousin. And he's got something of a muscle spasm. This is about the second time this month that we talked about somebody having a muscle spasm, like George. He throws the whole box of cereal and then he throws the bowl. He kicks the stool over and roundhouses everything off the counter about 5 times, which I found fucking hilarious.
Dude, this guy's physical comedy, Mark Curry was killing this shit. It was hilarious.
This is why we had to pick this episode. This is one of the Cooper episodes that stood out because, like, I remember the first time watching this and laughing my ass off with all of the little ticks and twitches that he did, man. And he's a tall guy. And so, like, moving his legs around and, like, contorting and shit, man.
Yeah.
And just, like...
oh, yeah, dude. He's Diddy bopping, basically, or that one video of the Diddy shit. But,
give him an honorable mention in the physical comedy echelon.
I mean, especially, I didn't really see his physical comedy a lot on display usually, but this one, he was killing it. But one thing in this episode, he's like, you know, fine, and he's doing the muscle spasms, but then fucking Vanessa's like, oh, you know what? That might be that whole involuntary muscle spasm thing the doc's been talking about that happens every 2 out of 3 times, Steve.
What? You?
2 out of 3 times. I mean, is the guy not there because of the malpractice suits that he's about to kill himself over? 2 out of 3 times is not a great fucking ratio.
You could have kind of told me.
Yeah, bitch. Like, put a fucking electrode on me. Don't spin me around in fucking the devil chair. I didn't need that. This is a carnival game that this guy set up as a chiropractic machine.
And now he has his interview, and we see that Mark is going to have an interview with Larry Weeks, played by none other than Mark Lynn Baker from Perfect Strangers fame. And
Cousin Larry.
He also happens to be the director of this series.
No shit.
Yeah, Mark Lynn Baker, man.
This motherfucker is a straight king of the 90s too. And I mean, I saw him, I clocked him immediately. It was for Perfect Strangers, which maybe not the best sitcom, one of the best theme songs, another great banger of a theme song.
And he got a mini pop. I noticed the audience recognized them. You know, there was a little bit of I can identify this guy. And Mark has his hands in his pockets, and he reluctantly shakes Larry's hand because he's afraid he might slap his glasses off. Now, Larry's heard that Mark has a really good rapport with the players, and he thinks he would be of service in the recruitment department. Now, when Larry leaves the office for a minute, Mark has a muscle spasm out and knocks shit off of Larry's desk. And by the time he comes back, he's like, what the fuck? What's going on? He's like, oh, there was an earthquake. He's like, I didn't feel an earthquake, man. It was about a 4.1, 4.5, man. Your cabinet, it was just dancing. It just moved all the way over here. I just moved it back though.
Yeah, and the Cirque du Soleil shit. He's like having to hide it. He's like doing weird shit. It's like one of those things. Every time the guy turns his back, he's like, oh. and he's knocking shit off of desks. He's jumping up on fucking filing cabinets that are a good clean like 6 feet in the air. He jumped right on top of that shit. So clearly the back's fine, but these spasms are causing some issues in this interview.
And now while Larry's showing him one of the recruits, Mark slams his face into the folder and into the desk, and he tells him there was a spider on your back. Now he can't control himself. He's doing one-man twister and doing the hammer dance in this bitch, and somehow he's leaped on top of one of the file cabinets. Now Larry, after all of this, he hasn't been kicked out of the interview. It's not just been aborted. He shows him one of his trophies, and Mark reluctantly takes the trophy and he gives it back. But before he does that, he yanks it back and he checks it out and he fumbles with it and he just fucking throws the shit out the window.
I mean, the Ernest Hufford Award for achievements in basketball, it's in pieces at this point, Steven. It's not even that the guy, this was like an award he got for playing basketball. In the meeting, he even indicates to Mark that his greatest regret is that he was never like big enough or good enough to actually play the game. He's always just loved the game, which is why he's in the position he is. So this award meant everything to him. And after Mark fucking robots this shit out of like a 15-story window, all Mr. Weeks can do is just be like, why, man? Why? What the hell, dude? And at this point, it's, you know, you ain't getting the job, bud.
Yeah, because now he's mule kicking the wall, slapping pictures off the wall, and this interview, is officially over.
I mean, this could have gone a different way, and the cops show up, and then Mark just commits suicide by cop because of these fucking spasms. Because they're gonna be like, "Get on the ground." He's like, "I can't, motherfucker."
But by the end of the episode, though, his spasms are gone, but so are his hopes of landing the job. And apparently, that trophy landed on Larry's car too.
Well, I mean, he was, he's going to be out some money, I'm assuming, for the window, for probably some chiropractic bills for Larry, because he bent him over and slammed his head down on that desk. He's probably going to have some whiplash. But luckily, he's got that dusty old lazy boy to sit in. There's no wine bottles, but there's still bed bugs, roaches, and, probably some hobo semen on there that he's got to contend with. But at least Holly Robinson's bringing him some cookies and milk, Steve, which thank you.
In her skirt.
Yeah, that was really the note I put in here, but I was going to let you. I've been really oogling a Holly Robinson like Kramer oogled that naked woman, and it's not my fault. She's just one of the most beautiful women that ever graced the 90s screen. So shout out to Holly.
But I will say she's got some bird legs. I would prefer them a little thicker, but hey, she's cute. Now, on that same day in 1994, Leon, the Professional, debuts in theaters. Matilda, a 12-year-old girl, is reluctantly taken in by Leon, a professional assassin, after her family is murdered. And an unusual relationship forms as she becomes his protege and learns the assassin's trade.
And we kind of talked about this last week, which is weird, but there's this weird sexual vibe in this movie between an adult and this young girl. This is the first time I was ever exposed to Jean Reno, who is that man behind you who plays Leon the Professional. And I always loved that guy in movies because he has that cool like French accent. He's got that cool look. He was in Mission Impossible, I believe. And he was in what's that movie with Pacino and De Niro? Heat. He was in Heat.
Heat, okay.
He's in that, I believe. But he's in a lot of shit in the 90s. He was in the Godzilla remake with Matthew Broderick. But this movie is good. This movie's weird. But I mean, not one of my biggest favorites, but it is a fucking banger of a movie.
And it also stars Natalie Portman, Gary Oldman, and Danny Aiello. Sal, why ain't you got any black athletes on the wall? R.I.P. to Danny Aiello. He passed either earlier this year or last year, man.
Yeah, he's a badass too. That motherfucker. He played so many different kinds of parts too. Danny Aiello. He was in a movie called oh my god, Jacob's Ladder. That's a fucking trippy horror movie with Tim Robbins. Oh, watch that on acid if you want to have a freak out.
Now, on that same day, Star Trek Generations premiered in theaters. With the help of long presumed dead Captain Kirk, Captain Picard must stop a deranged scientist willing to murder on a planetary scale in order to enter a space matrix. I never gave a fuck about Star Trek, anything, and I never will, respectfully. And even after I die, if I'm reincarnated into a bird or a goddamn cat, that life won't give a fuck about anything from this universe. But I do like Patrick Stewart, and William Shatner's cool. R.I.P. Leonard Nimoy. Now, you know who probably didn't watch Generation or Leon the Professional on 94?
Well, it's not you, but I'm assuming it's not you. That's not who you're calling out. So who is it, Steve?
Probably Cab Calloway, American singer, songwriter, and band leader of the Cab Calloway Orchestra. And yeah.
I feel like he might have done some bad things, Steve.
Well, you know, he is in that Big Mouth animated flick or animated show on Netflix.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I did. Now that you say that name, I wondered how I knew that name, and that's why I do like that show.
It's like a ghostly kind of spirit of Cab Calloway. Yeah,
I forget. R.I.P. I think who does his voice, babe? Who does Cab Calloway? Well, she can't hear me. I think it's Jordan Peele does his voice.
Oh, really?
Funny enough, yeah. But that show's good. Cab Calloway. Evil looking motherfucker. I gotta say, he looks like somebody he looks like Nosferatu, like as a band leader. I don't like that. I don't like that big ass mouth. No wonder he's in Big Mouth. He's got a big fucking mouth. Look at that.
Look at them teeth. I'm frightened. Now, that following year, 1995, Saturday Night Live is airing the episode with musical guest Rancid, hosted by Laura Layton. And not a bad episode. The thing that really stood out was the final skit with Tim Meadows, where he's just this guy out in the street and he's trying to holler at, I guess he's waiting for a bus or a taxi or something like that. And he's just like, I just want to get with you. And he's just like, you know, like, I'm not going to have, she's like, I'm not going to have sex with you. And then he's like starting to get romantic. And he's just like, and by the end of like whatever he says, he's like, I just want to get with you. And eventually it leads them to going back to his place. And she's like, well, if we go back to your house, like, promise me you're not going to try to have sex with me. He's like, no, I'm not going to try to get with you, but like, let me know, like, when. Yeah.
Oh, I got to watch that. I don't remember that one. That sounds hilarious.
And the cold opening was hilarious too, I got to say, man. This is Norm Macdonald playing Bob Dole, and he's writing Coach. Yeah, he's writing Coach while the president is in first class, you know, and he's just pissed. Like with the I need to be in first class, and then he just ends up throwing something out of the window, and a lady ends up like getting sucked through the window, and that's Newt Gingrich, and he's like, "Do you have anything to say for yourself?" And he does the live from New York. It's
okay. Is that Daryl Hammond?
Daryl Hammond.
I gotta say, they had him do Bill Clinton also, but Phil Hartman's Bill Clinton. I used to love. He did a skit where Bill Clinton used to jog a lot. That's what he was like famous for. And he goes into like a McDonald's and starts giving like a politics speech, but he starts eating everybody's food while he's doing it. And that's a banger. This one I don't remember. But I liked the Bob Dole shit too. That was huge back then. Bob Dole doesn't like that. Bob Dole.
And this also introduced us to the parody commercial of the robots.
Oh, they're coming in and killing our elderly.
Man. Now, on that same day, ECW airs the November to Remember 95 pay-per-view. And I want to just briefly go through it, man. This, I feel, was a step in the right direction for ECW because we're getting the early stages of Bubba Ray. At the time, he was Bubba, and he had a stuttering problem. And this was also the beginning of the Stone Cold venture in ECW.
He was in ECW, Steve?
He actually had a match with Mikey Whipwreck for the heavyweight title.
What was his name in it? Was he just Steve Austin or was he Stone Cold?
Yeah, he was just Steve Austin at this time. And so it was Bubba Ray Dudley. We seen Conan, and Conan's wearing his colorful getup. This is before he went cholo with it. Stevie Richards is in it. The Pit Bulls. They had a good match. Rey Mysterio and Psychosis had a killer match. Mexican death match.
ECW had the fucking legends at some point. I didn't know Rey Mysterio was in ECW either. That's crazy.
Dude, a lot of people stopped by, man. Two Cold Scorpio and Sandman had a good match. Axel Rotten, Mikey Whipwreck and Steve Austin, Sabu, and Terry Funk, Tommy Dreamer, Raven, Cactus Jack. So Cactus Jack is also a part of the mix, man.
Damn, ECW. You didn't know what you had back then. I wonder, like, at what point, who was the guy, like Paul Heyman? Was he who was profiting most off of those? Like, who was profiting off ECW?
This was his promotion.
Okay, so
yeah.
At what point was he thinking about killing himself before he got some money from Vince? You know, like when he saw these stars go on and like become these huge stars in other leagues. At what point did he have a gun in his mouth and have to take it out? Like, what? Steve Austin is something now too. It was just like everybody left and became these huge guys. It's crazy.
Well, I don't think he skipped a beat, man, because once he got bought out, Vince actually hired him on. And because he's such a great professional wrestling mind, Vince sees use of Paul Heyman because he is one of the greatest minds in this game, man.
Yeah.
And he's still employed with WWE still to this day.
He's Brock Lesnar's guy, isn't he?
He is when Brock Lesnar comes back, and I think he's back now, but now he's managing Roman Reigns. So now they have a thing.
Yeah. If any, damn, I like that. Dude, who doesn't love the Dudley Boys, by the way? I mean, who doesn't love that shit? I mean, they are fucking one of the greatest tag teams, and they had some of the coolest moves. The 3D, I mean, come on.
And this pay-per-view actually got some pretty good reviews, man. But in 1997,
it was the November to remember, Steve. So I hope.
Yeah.
Hopefully you remember it.
On November 18, 1997, Erykah Badu releases the album Live. It's 14 tracks, 76 minutes, and 58 seconds. This is the album that introduced us to Call Tyrone. Call.
I think Erykah Badu is going to be alive in like 1,000 years. That's the only thing I can say is that she's got some weird energy about her where I just feel like maybe she's an angel and that's what it is, because she just will never not be cool. She makes other people cool by association. And I feel like if you are lucky enough to have sex with her, you become super successful. So shout out. Yeah. And I do like that song. I'm not going to say and stand out here and say I'm the biggest Erykah Badu fan, but that song you just sang, I mean, everybody likes that song.
Come on, come on, come on. Now, on that same day, Metallica releases the album Reload, 13 tracks, 76 minutes and 2 seconds. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I re-listened to this, Steve. Me and my wife were driving around trying to get the lay of the land in this new place that we were at, and we put it on Spotify on shuffle. And I'm not going to sit here and denigrate the lords of rock, Metallica. It didn't hit the way I remembered it, but I think that's probably true of a lot of the music that I used to listen to. But Fuel, it's still there. It starts off with that memorable "Give me fuel, give me fire" shit. But I'll save the fact that we went over at the beginning of the show for the asides. But there's an interesting fact about this album that, I love you guys, James, Lars, Kirk, all these guys. I forget all the other guy's name. He's cool too. But
Hammett.
Yeah. These motherfuckers are badass. I love me some Metallica. This one, I don't know what the purists think, but I'd rather listen to Ride the Lightning or Master of Puppets or something if I had my choice. So
well, I prefer those two, but I mean I like the bangers that they provide on this, man. The Memory Remains. La 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 la. And then Unforgiven 2, Fuel, Better Than You,
There's some funk on there too. I mean, they got some funky shit going on here, but it's just like, who doesn't like just a nice Metallica tasty lick, just that little, something. And I feel like that's missing a little bit on this album, just a little bit. They'd cut the hair. They didn't have that long flowing mane, and maybe that's what it is. It's like a Samson thing. The power was in the hair.
They visit infrequent auto zones a lot more at this point in their life.
Yeah. But who doesn't like Lars? Another thing I remember is that Lars was getting a lot of shit for just going up against Napster and like not liking that, like the free downloading. And while you and I and everybody else use Napster, LimeWire, all those sites, and I didn't necessarily agree with what he was saying at the time. Mm-hmm. No hatred for Lars at this, because as far as like, this motherfucker was just trying to stay getting paid. And I think the argument was these guys are already paid, but it seems like musicians beyond all other entertainers get ripped off a lot. So I understand where he was coming from. So I just wanted to put that out there. Lars, no hard feelings, man. I downloaded a lot of your music for free, but I get what you were doing. So
yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I don't agree with it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't I can't relate to somebody that's rich when I'm broke.
And he kind of has this like smarmy vibe. I'm Lars. Hey man, I'm Lars. He has like that kind of thing going on where it's like, are you taking a shit right now? Or
yeah.
That was not a good impression. I'm sorry, Steve. That was no Billy D, but
Yeah. I never tried that hard for Lars.
Oh, but anyway,
what do you know about Reload?
What's that? What do I know? What's the deal? Okay. Well, we're getting to the asides. We're getting to the call out. So
that's okay.
That's the call out thing. So if we're not there yet, I'm gonna save it.
All right. Well, on that same day, Titanic the Soundtrack was released, and I never bought that shit. I don't care to ever, but the only reason I'm bringing it up is because it sold over 30 million copies, making it one of the top 100 best-selling albums in the United States. It's one of
the Steve is a hater. Stop hating. Celine Dion got paid. What did you think of the movie, though?
I never watched it. I mean, what's the point of watching it at this point? Why the fuck?
What is the point of watching it, Steve?
What's the point of watching it?
You're gonna see the hand on the window. You're gonna see them falling in love. You're gonna see a prime Billy Zane, which I gotta go out on the limb for Billy Zane at all times, because Billy Zane is an unspoken hero. He's the villain in this. And I just got to say, Steve, I mean, as somebody who says he loves the 90s, you got to at least watch it, because it was directed by James Cameron, king. It's got Leo, king. Kate Winslet's in it. She's hot. You get to see her tit. And I mean, Steve, we're out here. We knew what was gonna happen. It's like watching a movie with Jesus. You know what's gonna happen, but you gotta watch it. So, you know, I'm shocked, and I'm gonna make you watch this. The next time I see you, I'm gonna fucking sit you down. I'm gonna say, Steve, the next 3.5 hours, not Malcolm X, my friend. We're gonna watch fucking Jack and this little tart over here have sex in a car. Okay.
Malcolm X puppet does not approve.
Well, I'm sorry, but I disagree, and my heart will go on for you, Steve, because I mean, Celine Dion just killed it. Okay. I don't like it. I don't like the besmirching of this Titanic.
Oh, but you know who probably didn't buy Erykah Badu Live or Metallica Reload or Titanic Soundtrack when it came out November 18th in 1997, Matt?
Who?
Probably Mavericks AC Green, who was tying Randy Smith's NBA record of 906 consecutive games. Yeah, man, the Iron Man of the NBA.
AC, dude. You don't hear that name a lot. I kind of forgot that name, honestly. Thanks for bringing it back up. Look at AC.
AC and Cal. Cool Cal and AC.
Damn.
And now, another fun fact, infamous fun fact about AC Green, he was a virgin. Just like Marla, Jerry's ex-girlfriend. He was a virgin his whole NBA career. He didn't find his wife until after he retired, which, hey, send that man to heaven immediately because you fought temptation. He was a part of those Lakers teams in the 80s, and he was winning championships as a young
LA?
in Los Angeles. You're a Laker in Los Angeles in the 80s, playing with Magic and Kareem and Worthy. And I mean, even if you played for the Lakers during the shitty times, you're a Laker in Los Angeles. So it's just automatic. Poontang for life.
I mean, any athlete, an NBA athlete who is winning championships and is not having sex, I mean, you are an Iron Man because you went through a gauntlet of women just throwing themselves at you, trying to be drafted, just like you were into the NBA, into your bedroom to get that money and that dick. So you sometimes find, you know who else is a virgin that I found out about, and it's publicized because she does it. Molly from Insecure. That woman's a virgin in real life, Steve.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's insane. And like that, and like AC, I can't believe it. But that's crazy. And the guy's a legend. So he's a legend more so for that now. Fucking Iron Man thing. The virginity. Okay. Yeah. I'm impressed.
For real. And so, yeah, the 18th is when he tied the record, and the 20th is when he actually took the record. Now, on that same day, 70s glam rock star Gary Glitter, real name Paul Gadd, is arrested by British police in a child porn probe.
There's a lot of these because there's another guy that's like a child star, like the English version of Mr. Rogers, and I can't remember his name, but like this guy was like a worldwide phenomenon. Same thing. So I don't know. Yeah. England's got, and I mean, looking at the guy, are you surprised?
Oh, a guy named Gary Glitter? Oh no, he would do something devious with children. This guy?
He looks like Bilbo Baggins if he was a child molester. Oh, okay, Gary.
Not this guy. A guy who looks like that? No way. He would do something with children? No. Is this the same guy? No. He does like weird things. Oh my God. I cannot believe it.
Is that a satanic, like a Satanist outfit he has on? I mean, Jesus.
Is that guy and this guy the same guy? Oh man, you mean to tell me he does fucking mischievous things with minors? No Gary, fucking way.
Gary, we're getting some rumors. Can you take off the jumpsuit real quick? Can you take off the spaceman, the gay spaceman? We need to talk. The cops are here.
Now in 1998, November 18th, the Powerpuff Girls debuts on Cartoon Network. And I never watched the Powerpuff Girls, but I know they have a cult following of sorts. It was a big deal.
I mean, it wasn't up our alley. I think we were a little too old, and this was more geared. I mean, I don't think even it was more geared towards girls, but girls glommed onto it. And there were, you know, this isn't to say there weren't guy fans, but I like the guy who animated this, I think, or like the company, I think also did Samurai Jack.
I can see that.
So respect to them. This wasn't necessarily my cup of tea, but you know, it was a huge thing. You know, it is. I think they're even still are doing shit with this. So,
in that following year, in 1999, at Texas A&M University, the Aggie bonfire collapses, killing 12 students and injuring 27 others.
now, I remember this. This shit was wild. Yeah, I do.
Because I don't.
I mean, you didn't really see it. It's not like they showed it, but I remember like NBC, like, you know, how the disaster coverage, they just showed like the aftermath of this, but like, oh, who didn't know that wasn't a bad idea? Let's build the world's biggest bonfire. And like, look at that.
Yeah.
You telling me like, what was the point? Just to maybe tempt fate and like, let's see if nobody dies this year, guys. Let's see how long we can do this without any like disasters.
And they actually had participants who knew nothing about how this should go. They didn't get consulting from any of the engineering people from that field. You're out of school, you're out of college. The people who could possibly put this kind of thing together, ask for their advice.
Yeah.
How about that?
You got an engineering school there, or at least a class. Maybe talk to that guy. No, okay. You got Larry and Mary over there setting up the fucking the stories tall bonfire. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Kyle with the pack of Natty Light. That's going to be the guy.
Hey man, hey, fill up that water bottle with some gasoline. Let's light this bitch up. It's like, that's the level of professionalism that was being put. It was like the bonfires we would have in Napoleon. You know, sanctioned apparently, because the school was totally cool with this. Hey, yeah. Set a bonfire. What? Oh, 10 stories, make it 12. Fuck it.
And the president and the school actually ended up getting sued, and they eventually settled out of court.
Good. Well, they should have, because that's insane. I'd be like, what were you fucking? It's like Jay Leno with Hugh Grant. What the fuck were you thinking?
Now, any callbacks, honorable mentions, takeaways?
And we were teasing it, Steve. I do. So, you know, we do research for our show, and I was doing research for Metallica Reload. And, you know, we already said what we said about the songs and the actual music, but fun fact about that. I don't know if you can bring up the album art for it. If you have it behind you, I'll be sure to put it in. But this album art isn't just any album art, Steve. This wasn't somebody off Instagram creating some digital image. This was actually art done by a artist named Andres Serrano. And Andres is an artist, obviously he painted that, but what he uses isn't necessarily paint. He paints in human waste, blood, and the photo you see behind him is actually his blood and his urine. So I don't know what the mix was, like how he applies that or how he even like captures the art. But that's what this guy is known for. And it not only did he do this, he did the album art for the album Load, which was previous to this. This was Reload. There was an album called Load that they had to do as well before that. Yeah. But what he's actually most notable for is not only being called out for using his own feces on canvases and taking pictures of dead bodies. He had a piece called Piss Christ. And that was a crucifix of Jesus, you know, being crucified on a cross, submerged in what he said was his own urine, and that's what his art was. So there you go. That's my fun fact, Steve.
You know, he totally missed the boat on working with R. Kelly. I guess he'll never get that opportunity.
I mean, oh my God, you know, he's kicking himself. He's like, nobody ever appreciated this. This man would have loved me, but he at least Lars hired him to do a couple albums. Piss Christ apparently sold for millions of dollars, which is mind blowing. And that's where we were at in the 90s, Steve. Pissing and shitting on canvases. So there you go.
Oh, hey, man. In 1991, Fresh Prince, cameo alert, Zsa Zsa Gabor, she makes an appearance. And on that same day,
Gucci.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not her? Okay, my bad. That's Charo.
Charo. Oh, yeah. Are you talking about with the big titties? Oh, no. Zsa Zsa was in Green Acres.
I just wanted to do this, Steve. That's it. It is what it is.
But on that same day in 91, Blossom also has some cameos. The Doogie Man himself aired in this episode, the rockumentary. and Gier Burns, he is recognizable by face. Dick Clark shows up, David Cassidy from the Partridge Family, David Faustino, Bud Bundy, Don King, and Warren Littlefield, the one of the head guys of NBC at the time. But yeah.
Damn. Blossom doing a lot of cameos and shit. I gotta say, I didn't know. I clocked that. I wasn't the biggest Blossom fan, but we've seen her already have the Fresh Prince, who, even if that was the only one, that's a huge one. So that's crazy. Dude.
And in 1998, Drew Carey Show is airing a 2-part episode, The High Road to China. I remember that was weird. They were in Asia. Of all places, and I don't remember the premise of it, but they were just in China, and I feel like he was climbing the wall of China at some point, maybe towards the end of the episode. But that's really all I got this week.
Well, I think Drew Carey just wanted to go on vacation, and they just decided to make a show about it. They're like, you know what, we can shoot this, we can make this work. So that's crazy. But Steve, this has been a great one. I'm not going to get any don't jack off packs, because quite honestly, even as a married man, I'm gonna lose that, because at any point I might just see something. We saw people having sex in a car. I might have busted right then and there. Who knows? Okay.
Speaking of which, fun fact about Matt and Steve. Matt, you actually almost caught me freshman year in Bowling Green. I'll never forget. I thought you were going to work or something, and I had one of those tapes from one of those fucking stores at Airport Highway, and I was like, "Oh shit, I got time." And I'm sitting there, and right as shit was getting good, you come in. I'm like, you got me.
I don't remember this, Steve.
I'm glad you don't, because I do. Because it was just a regular day. It was probably like a Tuesday, Wednesday. Just it was just like, oh yeah, my roommate's going off to work or whatever. Yeah. I got some time.
I mean, we didn't have a lot of space, first of all, and I got to say, even if I'm sure if I were try to remember, I think I remember what happened was if it was when we had the big loft beds and the futon and shit, you might have been hidden. So maybe I didn't necessarily. Maybe I heard like the noises of the video, but I didn't see anything. But that could have happened to me, Steve, because I mean, it wasn't like my fat ass wasn't in there cranking off to whatever I was watching,
Yeah, I'm lucky that VCR had a remote though. But yeah, man, please like, share, subscribe, tell your favorite auntie about us. This is Steve G and Matt G with Happened in the 90s. Yeah.
Oh yeah.